You sitting on the couch, Ashy, you're watching TV and your life is passing you by. Keep procrastinating over and over. Well, maybe I'll get my skin together next year or maybe next semester. No! Do it right now! It'll work with you after work or you can use it before work. You can do whatever you need to do to use it. Go talk to somebody right now. They have to help you. You spend all day on the phone anyhow. Why don't you go to the website that's going to help you in your future? All you got to do is pick up the phone and go to www.ashkickin.com. Why are you making it complicated? It's easy.
Shop Ash Kickin online at www.ashkickin.com.
Order your copy of Black Supremacy now, available on Amazon.com. Written by Dr. William Dion James, a New York City educator and martial arts instructor. Copies are selling fast. Also, do not forget to add on Instagram, Dr. Will James.
From the culture of the American South, where roots hold stories, comes a natural deodorant inspired by generations of wisdom. Introducing Rootwork, the all-natural foundational Black American-based deodorant infused with the magic of High John the Conqueror root. Our unique blend enriched with this legendary root offers 24-hour protection, rooted in the power of nature. Embrace this deodorant that celebrates culture, history, and your well-being. Unlock the magic of Rootwork today. Experience the pure essence of nature. Visit rootworkstyle.com and make the switch to a healthier cultural choice.
Come on. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. What's going on, guys? Welcome to a brand new episode of Tariq Radio. I am your gracious host. My name is Tariq Nasheed. Glad to have everybody tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Ready to chop up some great game as we always do. Now, while we're waiting on everybody to come on in the room, because we're going to have a great conversation today, I need you guys to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that, and then we're going to do a quick commercial break. And when we come back from the quick commercial break, we're going to chop up some heavy game for this week. So get your popcorn. Everybody get ready. Stay tuned right here on Tariq Radio. Don't move a muscle.
Listen up, squares. You need to get the legendary book on game, The Art of Mackin, by author Tariq Kingflex818, available on Amazon right now. Can you dig it? This book has been a bestseller for 20 years, Jack, and the New York Times called it a classic. That means it's out of sight. So this book ain't for no lames who ain't trying to learn the game. Jive turkeys. So if you're ready to stop slacking in your mackin', get the Art of Mackin' book on Amazon and Barnes & Noble right now, sucker. Rated PG. That stands for plenty of game, jive chumps.
Greetings, kings and queens. I want to invite you over to my new online store, Reparations Now. Come check out all the awesome things we have. Hoodies, t-shirts, accessories, and more. If you're down with reparations and you want to get your cash and some respect, represent for the kings and queens. We have something over here for everybody. Right now, we have free shipping on all products, so visit reparationsnow.shop. Again, that's reparationsnow.shop.
Check out the brand new novel, Low Hanging Fruit by author Tyrus McKnight. Everything seems to be going wrong for 24-year-old Trenton Moore Everyone close to him is either leaving or dying, but then he meets a 19-year-old Jessica Mars, who's a student who also does exotic dancing to pay her school fees. Can these star-crossed lovers find true love and happiness? Find out by reading the novel Low-Hanging Fruit, available right now at Amazon.com.
Family, are you tired of going from site to site looking for children's books? Go to drbirdybooks.com, where we already have over 100 children's ebooks. 100 children's ebooks? That's going to cost a few $100s. No, our ebooks start as low as $347 for a pack of 10 unique children's books. That's DRBIRDYBOOKS.com. Dr. Birdie Books.
Bro, stop playing and start spraying. Leave a op on the ground where you stand. At all costs, yeah, make sure you protect it. Ogun juice, the formula been tested. You can defend yourself. If you find that you need a little help, gotta stay ready. Ain't no love in the street. Pepper spray straight to the face, make them get weak. Get it at ogunjuice.com. If they thinking you slipping, then tell them to come get them some. If you packing this, you won't be lacking. A shot to the eye in them problems you having. Maximal strip, hit them haters on ground, so you can feel free when you out in the town. Ogun juice, and don't forget a shirt, man. You gotta stay ready. That evil on alert. Yeah.
Okay. You are now tuned into the legendary OG. Tariq Nasheed.
I want to apologize to all my friends
On Tariq Radio.
Where is Tariq getting all this cash?
All right, I'm Tariq and I'm here. I am here, ladies and gentlemen. It is me, Tariq Nasheed. Glad to have y'all tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. We are here, we are back, ready to chop up that good game like we always do. Glad to have everybody in here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh man, we got a lot to talk about today. A lot of stuff we got to chop up game about. Again, don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. Hit that like and hit that subscribe button, family. I saw somebody in the comment section asking about the root work orders. All of the root work orders have been sent out. We just got off the holiday vacation. A lot of the staff was out for a couple of weeks for the holidays, so there were some backed up orders. But this week, everybody's root work orders were sent out. I will ask this, though. Family, when you make root work orders, because we get thousands and thousands of orders, there's this thing, people, for some reason, they forget to put their apartment numbers in the orders. I don't know why people do that. Because our mailing system, the way we ship everything out, if your mailing is not complete, that's going to delay your stuff. We're literally not able to send it out if we don't have the complete address. And our systems won't even let us print out the shipping packages if the addresses are not verified. So family, please, when you make orders, please put your apartment complex number in. Because a lot of you live in apartments, and for some reason, people don't put their apartment numbers. And I know sometimes people just do stuff real fast, but it's a lot of people who do that. There's a lot of people, especially if you live in the projects. If you live in apartment 1300B, if you live in a very big high-rise apartment, you got to put that in there. Because somebody's going to steal your package. Even if it's delivered, somebody's going to steal that package. And there's going to be a crackhead walking around smelling fresh with your deodorant on because you didn't put your housing project apartment number in there. All right? So please put your apartment number in there so there are no delays. Yes, the carriers will, I'm telling y'all, we get a lot of that, man, and that slows up a lot of stuff, boy. We get a lot of returns because people didn't put in the right address, and it slows a whole bunch of stuff down. And some of these addresses, some of y'all staying in halfway houses, we deliver this stuff to all types of people. And I think there are a lot of white people buying it too, because we're sending a lot of orders to trailer parks in middle America. And I know there are not a lot of black people there. So there are a lot of trailer parks we're sending stuff to. And that's not to disparage anybody. I'm just saying a lot of people from all walks of life are getting the root work. Yeah. So yes, there's a lavender scented crackhead running around with your deodorant on because you didn't want to put your apartment complex number on there. So please be sure to put your apartment complex number, because that just messes up the carrier information. But yeah, we got everything out. We got everybody's orders out. So you guys, if you want more deodorant, you want more children's books, just go to hiddenhistorymuseum.com to get the children's book, and go to rootworkstyle.com. We have 6 luxurious scents for you. We have coconut butter, pure vanilla, citrus charm, Biloxi blueberry, mango mojo, and lucky lavender. All right. Some phenomenal scents that you want to go get and smell good for the season, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, man. So look, we got a lot of people in the room. I might pop on camera. We get about 4,000 people. I'll pop on camera. When we get to 4,000 people, we got a little over 2,000. I'm going to pop on camera when we get 4,000 people. A lot of stuff we got to talk about in New York City. Where are my New York people? The New York family. Where are you at, New York family? Shout out to the family in New York, man. And the Chicago family too, and some of these other cities. Right now, there's this there's a flood of immigrants being allowed into the United States. The key word is allowed. They're being allowed and brought here. They're making it seem like they're slipping through the cracks. No, you have all of these people who are deliberately being allowed here, ladies and gentlemen. And the purpose of them being allowed here is to really displace and undermine us. And this thing takes its toll on us in so many different ways. We see what's happening in Chicago. We see down in Texas, places like that, where they're getting over the border, and some of the right-wing officials there are shipping these migrants out to so-called democratic cities and states or whatever. But all of these people, they're kind of in on the whole thing. They're all in on it. So let's put everything in context, first of all, why we're seeing such an influx of these immigrants being allowed to flood the zone right now. And there's images and pictures of just large caravans of people coming across the border, coming over here. All right. Let me play a clip from Dr. Claude Anderson. This was, I think, probably a couple of decades ago. Dr. Claude Anderson spoke in this clip. And this clip has been circulating around because Dr. Claude Anderson has been telling the truth and speaking truth to power about this immigration situation. So let's first put this thing in the right context. All right. Let me expand this real quick. Now listen to this. This is our brother, Dr. Claude Anderson, talking about the purpose of this immigration wave. And this was decades ago when he said this. Hold on.
You mentioned that blacks will be pretty much a permanent underclass in America by the year 2015. Why the year 2015? 2015 because what I've concluded from analysis is that there's going to be a converging of social factors nationally and internationally that's going to place blacks in a permanent status of underclassship. And we anticipate by that point in time, based on all the research that's coming to us, that the next generation of whites are going to be more anti-black than they've been since the civil rights movement. 2, we anticipate by the same token about 86 million Hispanics coming into the United States and about 41 million Asians by that point in time. which is going to kick black folk out of being the minority in the society, down to a minority. We've been number 2 in the society for 400 years as a group. We're going to become number 4. And if we have not gotten anything after being number 2 for 400 years, you guess what's going to happen when we become number 4. Because at that point in time, all the new groups coming into America, they're coming in higher than we are, because this country operates off of a preferential acceptance program, which means that groups are coming in based on skin color. They're going from the lightest down to the darkest. Light, yellow, brown, black. And that's what our immigration laws are based on. And black folk would not be able to penetrate through those groups to get to the white society when that happens, because those groups owe us nothing. They don't understand our problems, and they're competitive with us, and we don't begin to be a little more aggressive about being in a competitive posture to eat our lunches.
There you go. Man, Dr. Claude Anderson said it best right here. He spoke truth to power. These folks are being allowed over here basically as buffers. They're being used as buffers against us. Okay? They're buffers. Their purpose is to compete and basically undermine our progress. See, the way the racial hierarchy is that we, black people, are always supposed to be at the bottom. The white supremacists are at the top, and all of these other groups are in the middle, and they have no problem playing second fiddle. They have no problem being in the middle because they've been at the bottom in their homelands. They have no problem. Being in the middle is a come up to them here, okay? Being in the middle, that's good enough. That's a come up. You dig? So they're not going to have any type of camaraderie with us. When they get here, see, the Democrats and people like that, they portray this image that they are fellow minorities and that we're going to have some kind of inherent camaraderie with them. And that's not true. They're coming in to specifically compete against us, not with the dominant white society, but to compete against us. That's why when these people get a stronghold here, when they get stable here, where does their vitriol go? Their vitriol is towards us, foundational Black Americans. We see how they act in these clubhouse rooms and Twitter spaces. We see how they talk about us. They don't talk about white mommy, white daddy. Their vitriolic hatred and contempt is for us, you see? And we're sitting around here on some kumbaya minority coalition, not even being competitive with these folks. See, that's why the foundational Black American movement is taking such root right now, because now we get it. Our brother Claude Anderson has been trying to tell us for decades. I've been helping to push that brother's message. Now we're starting to get it. That this is a competitive relationship. We can't sit here talking about a non-existent minority coalition when people are coming over to undermine us, to work against us. That's the reality. See, we, as foundational Black Americans, we have to get more on code with each other so that we can be competitive, so that we can allocate the resources that we're supposed to get, accumulate the resources that we're supposed to get, and protect ourselves economically. You see? Now, in New York, and now we're seeing the toll of resettlement, because in Chicago, the brothers and sisters in Chicago are complaining because they're being displaced with these illegal immigrants coming over here, flooding Black neighborhoods, using community centers where the Black kids are basically thrown out to house these people. Now the same thing is going on up in New York. Let me play this news story. This is happening in New York right now. All right, where am I? All right, let me play this news story coming out of New York, and this is what's going on in Brooklyn. Your boy, Eric Adams, basically had to displace the high school students there temporarily so they could house these migrants coming in. They're staying in the school gym. Hold on.
In New York City, and now joining me here live on Live Now from Fox in New York is Fox News' Nate Boyd with the latest here on this big talker.
Parents are really upset with what's happening with their children, and specifically coming off the COVID learning experience. And we've seen the negative effects with the test scores, and a lot of parents are concerned that their children are being left behind. But I'll start with the newest information, and that is that students will be back in person in school at James Madison High School in Brooklyn tomorrow, but that's not the case today. They're learning remotely, although a lot of parents say that they believe their kids are just on TikTok. A lot of parents have said that teachers aren't even showing up for these online classes. So they say that remote learning is just a euphemism for no learning at all. And you mentioned this is all happening because the city is out of space to put illegal migrants who crossed our southern border. Take a look at this video. Nearly 2,000 of them were staying at a nearby tent facility, but they had to be moved because of strong winds and rain that brought some security risk at that tent facility. So they moved in last night. The school notified the parents of the 3,600 students that go to James Madison High School here in Brooklyn. Take a look at this statement from the city. They wrote, quote, "The health and safety of migrants in our care is always a top priority, which is why we are currently overseeing the relocation of 1,900 guests from the Humanitarian Emergency Response and Relief Center."
Guest? Wow. Guest? Okay.
At Floyd Bennett Field.
Okay, so you guys get the picture. So yeah, they're the top priority. Okay? They are the top priority, not your children. We're my New Yorkers. Now in New York, the children in New York, they basically get kicked out of school. In New York, the children who are citizens, they get kicked out of school because of these illegal immigrants coming over and having to be housed in the gym. So you can't send your kids to school. You know how much of an inconvenience that is? Your kid now has to stay home. Just imagine if you're a parent. You can't afford to take off work. If you can't afford to take off work, do you understand how inconvenient that is? You understand when your kid is at home, somebody has to be home with that kid. And usually, if you're a working class family, you don't have time to take off your job and miss out on money and paying your bills so that you can stay home because your kid can't go to school and you don't have anybody to watch your kid. Because people choose to hop over here and not take care of their homeland. So we got to foot the bill and we have to be inconvenienced because of other people not having it together in their home. We shouldn't be obligated to bear the brunt of that. That ain't cool at all. That's not cool. No, that ain't cool. How about y'all just stay back home and just make it pop back home? We don't want to be inconvenienced. So you see, this is taking a toll on people. This takes a heavy toll on people. It takes a toll on your resources. The zone is flooded. You got these people coming into the schools and they're staying in the gyms and staying in these neighborhoods. You don't know who they are. You don't know what they did back home. Remember, they're not vetting these people. They're not really vetting people like that. A lot of these people are coming across the border with janky backgrounds back home. That the family, we've seen stories of what these folks are doing when they get here. Up in Ohio, one of these illegal immigrants sexually assaulted a woman just like a couple of weeks ago. These people are doing all types of weird stuff when they get here. We don't know who they are. We don't know what their background is and what they're escaping from. You see? And the thing is, people come over here, we have to be inconvenienced whether we like it or not. Our resources has to be drained. And in a couple of years, these same people will be telling foundational Black Americans, why don't you niggas pull yourself up by your bootstraps? I came here with $2. They come over here trying to tell us what we need to damn do after we've been inconvenienced by them coming here, getting stabilized. Yeah, they empty the jails in those countries. Understand this. Remember the movie Scarface was about that, about the Mariel boat lift where Castro was kind of sticking it to the U.S. He emptied the jail and the insane asylums and then started putting a bunch of these people on boats to flood Miami. Remember? And in Miami, remember in the 80s, it was insane. You know, the cocaine cowboys, go look at that movie. They were wreaking havoc in Miami. These immigrants. You see? So these folks come over, they get job training, they get all the resources that are supposed to go to us. When we're up here talking about reparations and they're sitting here talking about what they can't do, they're doing everything we're asking for these illegal immigrants. And that's for the purpose of them being buffer classes against us. You see? That's why, family, we have to stay on our square. We have to stay on our square, and we have to say, we're not going to go for that. We're not going to vote for that. See, we got to get off of this whole thing where, man, they ain't going to give us nothing. Well, if you think and talk like that, they're not going to give you anything. We got 4K in here. All right, let me see how many we got. Okay, we do have 4K in here. All right, let me get on camera. I said it.
Racism is the most powerful system on.
Yeah. All right, what's going on? I'm in here. Got some lint on my damn shirt. All right, what's up, man? I'm in here. I'm on camera now. All right, what's going on? All right, so we in here. We are in here, ladies and gentlemen. But like I said, these folks are coming over here, and we have to say enough is enough. We have to say we're not going to go for that. We're not going to vote for that. The Democrats are openly showing contempt for us, and we have to let them know we're not going to support anything you're doing if you're going to show this kind of contempt. Somebody said I look like Malcolm X. Yes, indeed. I got a problem with this lint right here, though. Hold on. I hate when I got lint on me. All right. But I'm here. I am here, lady. Who's texting me? Who is this? Hold on. People are sending me Cash App paper. Shout out to everybody hitting the Cash App. The Cash App is Kingflex818. Shout out to everybody hitting that Cash App, Kingflex818, ladies and gentlemen. Kingflex818. All right. But listen, we got to understand that these groups coming over here, they're not going to be on some thank you so much for helping us get here. They're not going to show any appreciation to us. All right? That's the reality. They're going to come over here to specifically be competitive with us. And again, when they come over, they get all types of benefits that we don't get. Not only that, and there's other secondary benefits that they get. One benefit that they get is the benefit of clean credit. That's one thing that we really overlook about them. When we talk about when they come over and they get all of these business loans and they get these businesses that we can't get, they're not coming over here with a lot of money. We got to understand when they get here, they also get a clean line of credit. So you got these people who might be 30, 40 years old. They hop over the border. You're going to get a brand new Social Security card. And with a brand new Social Security card and a Social Security number, when you get that, that means your credit score ain't janky. So all the stuff you did back home, all of the debt and whatever child support, whatever criminal convictions you had back home, that gets wiped away. Whereas we don't. Everything we do, it follows us. The college loans, the light bill that wasn't paid 8 years ago, whatever. So yeah, that follows us, and that hinders us when we try to go get a business loan or whatever. We got to get it out the mud. We got to hustle and grind. Everything, criminal record, everything we got, it haunts us for the rest of our lives. They come over, that's erased. So if we got some Chesters over there, you don't know that. You don't know what this person did over there. All of that stuff is erased. So that's a benefit. Boy, that's a huge leap. You understand? And then people will turn around and tell us, well, I did it, nigga. You niggas are lazy. No. That's one thing we really overlook. That new line of credit they get that we can't get. See, that's major. If you just imagine us, if we tomorrow, all of our debt and everything was erased and we got a brand new line of credit, do you know how prosperous we would be as foundational Black Americans if all of our student loan debt was erased, child support was erased, any criminal convictions you had, deserved or undeserved, if that were erased, man, the prosperity would be immense. You understand? We don't get that. We have to prosper in spite of all that. We have to work harder. We have to work much harder. So yeah, that's why a lot of them are able to come over and get businesses so quickly. They got liquor stores here, liquor stores there, because their credit is clean. They come over and get clean credit. Yeah? They get a clean line of credit. So all of the debt they left back. Yeah? And that's specifically designed to undermine us, family. Yeah, man, that's why you see foreigners running all of these businesses in your neighborhood. Not that they worked harder. We got to get off that nonsense that they work harder. Yeah? So here's the thing. Yeah, they get funding too. But we better understand that this is not a minority coalition. They are coming over to be competitive with us, competitive against us. There is no coalition. That's just the long and short of it. There is no coalition. See, we got to stop this pie in the sky stuff. And I'm not trying to denigrate anybody, because you can still be cordial on a personal level. You can, if you got friends who are from different ethnic and racial backgrounds, that's fine. But we better understand when it comes to them operating as a group. The operative word is group. Because, see, we have a buddy who might be Hispanic or a homegirl who might be Asian, and they're real cool people individually. But understand, when they move as a group, when they run around as a group, when they operate as a group, they're competitive to us as a group. They're competitive as a group. Do not be fooled by the individual relationships you have with people. Do not be fooled by that. And right now, the foundational Black American movement is taking hold heavy, because now we're realizing that. And you have other people in the dominant society, people like Cameron and all that, speaking about, hey, man, you know what? I would rather look at myself as a Black American instead of an African American, because truth be told, we don't have the same cultural connection with Africa. And notice people are desperate with trying to force us to identify as an African. Now, racially, we're African people, racially. Ethnically, we are a different group. Ethnically, we're foundational Black Americans. I acknowledge my African racial inherent DNA and the connection I have with other African descended people globally. We have a connection as far as intrinsic race and biology. So I acknowledge that. No problem with that. When I travel to Africa or any other place where there are Black people, I see a commonality with that. But we're also a people who have a very unique ethnic background, and that's us being foundational Black Americans. That goes just beyond the skin tone. All right, we better understand ethnicity, because when we're talking about our ethnic background as foundational Black Americans, now we're talking about culture. Now, because we have a different culture. We have a different culture. We have different styles, different belief systems, a different lineage that's unique from other people. All right? We do have ethnic differences that are unique to us, just like other people have ethnic differences that are unique to them. Jamaican people who are right there in the Caribbean, even though they're descendant from African people too, even though they're descended from African people, they have a unique ethnic culture. Now, we got somebody waiting. Y'all took her comment down. There's a girl in the comment section named Indian Red who said, Tariq, no, we don't. All right, let me get on y'all niggas for a minute. Let me talk to y'all for 1 minute. All y'all Negroes who are now trying to claim these Indian tribes. Okay, that's not going to work. Okay, let me stop y'all Negroes with that claiming Creek and all of that shit. All right, y'all can stop that. Okay, because now there's Negroes now. We is the Creek Indians. Oh, okay, hold on, because we see that, and then sometimes people try to make it seem like I'm on that. No, y'all better stop with that trying to claim them red tribes. No, those red tribes have been remixed. That's not going to work. Now, where y'all at? Come on, y'all Negroes. Her name Indian Red. No, Indian Red and other Negroes like that. All right, let me talk to y'all who are trying to claim, the dumbass, lame Callaway crowd. There's a reason why dumbasses like that are not taken seriously. No, y'all can't claim them red tribes. That doesn't work. That's not going to work for you. Claiming them red Indian tribes, that's not going to work. Even though there were some Aboriginal tribes and some of the Choctaw and some of those people who were reclassified as Negro, yes. There were a lot of Native Americans who were reclassified as Negro. This is absolutely true, especially out here in California. There were a lot of those Aboriginal tribes really out here heavy. The Mojave, these were like black tribes. The Ohlone tribe, these tribes look like African tribes. They got reclassified as Negro, and then the white supremacists infiltrated them tribes already. They've been infiltrated by the dominant society now. So what, you gonna reclaim them tribes now? Boy, that's an uphill battle. Where are the feather-wearing Negroes now? Are y'all gonna try to reclaim them tribes now? Boy, that's an uphill battle if y'all think you're gonna do that. Those tribes have already been infiltrated by $5 European Indians. They've already been infiltrated. All right? They've already kicked the black folks out of those tribes a century and a half ago. They done already kicked them out those tribes. All right? You feel me? Now, if you want to go that route or claim some type of allegiance to those tribes, the best thing to do is go for the Treaty of 1866, where those tribes are supposed to give the same resources and benefits to the freedmen that were associated with them. And that's another thing. A lot of the black natives, they either reclassified them as Negro or reclassified them as freedmen. Just said, okay, they were freed they were slaves that we had. Yeah. So that's going to be an uphill battle if you want to try that. That's kind of a waste of time. You know, that's kind of a waste of time because the Red Indians, they've already been absorbed into either black society or white society. They've already been absorbed. That's why when you see these tribes now, it look like a whole bunch of Justin Timberlakes. When you look at the tribal chiefs of some of those tribes, those federally recognized tribes, they look like the Bee Gees. Yeah? They've been infiltrated already. So you can play that game and fight that uphill battle with that. And trying to claim that you want to claim some kind of allegiance with the Creeks, who basically got a bunch of suspected white supremacists running things over there now. You understand? They've been flipped. They didn't turn white, dude. We are a specific ethnic group. We are foundational Black Americans. We are a very unique ethnic group. You dig? And that's why self-classification is important. Trying to align yourselves with a group that's already been infiltrated, how's that going to work for you? For real. I'm all about doing things that's practical. Trying to realign yourselves with a group or a tribe that's been completely infiltrated right now. They done infiltrated them things left and right. Yeah? So us identifying as the ethnic group we are an ethnic group and we're self-identified. We'll get more strength there because we're going to be more codified there. Because us acknowledging our foundational Black American heritage, we do acknowledge the Aboriginal, the African, and the foundational. Because I don't have a problem with Africa. I don't have a problem with African DNA. You got some of these dudes trying to claim these red tribes talking about we ain't got no African DNA. I don't know what you're talking about because we're mixed in with African people. We are mixed in. I don't know where y'all going with that. I don't know what that bullshit is about. And then you got people who try to attribute that nonsense to me. I've never said that I don't have African DNA. Yeah, I do. But I'm still a foundational Black American. You think? We got to talk real. We got to talk real here. Yeah? And again, I talked about this before. Yeah, there were absolutely Black Aboriginal tribes here. 100%. There were 100% Black Aboriginal tribes here. 100%. And many of those tribes got busted up. The ginger skin tribes, the Jinga skin, I talked about them the other day. That was a Black tribe of Black Aboriginal people who had their own reservation. They were like, the white supremacists got very nervous about them being able to have guns. And they said, hey, y'all ain't no tribe no more. You're free Blacks and you're Negroes now. So the white supremacists did a whole bunch of stuff like that. But we are foundational Black Americans. We are foundational Black Americans. Yeah? Yeah, I don't let nobody put no words in my mouth like that Indian red. If you want to walk around talking about you Indian red, knock yourself out, dear. I don't know how far that's going to get you. I don't know what tribe is going to. You see that the tribe that you're trying to align yourself with, they have to accept that because now you have to understand that tribe has been infiltrated now. So you're going to reclaim the Creeks. Who are you going to reclaim it with? You got to get enough people to say, hey, we're going to reclaim the blackness of the Creeks. And by the way, Creek, that's not even a real tribe. That's the name that the white supremacists gave them. They came over here and saw a group of people living by the creek and said, okay, you guys are Creek Indians. We got to understand that too. A lot of these tribal names, that was something that the Europeans came and just kind of named these people. They kind of created those tribes as well. They saw a group of people here, a group of people there, and just gave them their own little label. You understand? Just like with the Navajo Indians. That's not their real name. The Navajo, they're called the Dene. They told me their real name is the Dene. The Navajo, that was the Spanish came over and called them that because that was, the word Navajo comes from a bastardization of the word horse thief in some language, something like that. It's a mix of words that meant horse thief. So they came over and called the Dene people Navajo. That's not their original name. Even Seminole. Seminole, that was a combination of black Aboriginal people and the Creek Indians. Seminole was something that they called them, the Spanish called them, meant runaway. Comes from Cimarron. It was an English bastardization of the word Cimarron, which means runaway. All right. So when we look at these tribes, we got to understand. So these words were attributed to these tribes by other people. You see? Right. Sioux means snake. Right. So we got to understand where these names came from. So you're trying to claim a tribe, and those names aren't even the original names of the tribes. And many of those tribes have been remixed, a combination of this person and that group and this group. You understand? But it's been remixed so much, you trying to claim those tribes, and what are you trying to get out of them? Because if you want to claim Cherokee now, what are you going to get out of that? Because the Cherokees, boy, they got a whole bunch of alt-right people running the Cherokees right now. So are you going to get a check out of them? How's that going to work? Yeah? So you better do things that's practical. Yeah? Right. The Shinnecock Indians up there in New York. Flavor is part of that. Flavor Flav was part of one of those black Aboriginal tribes up there. And Old Dirty Bastard. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody said, but you're claiming Africa. I'm not claiming Africa as my ethnic identity. It's a racial classification. I have racial DNA that is African. And when I speak of African, I'm talking about from a racial sense. All right? I'm talking about from a racial sense. From an ethnic sense, I'm a foundational Black American. Yeah? That we've always been here. Right. Right. But the thing is, going back into what Cameron was saying that, I don't look at myself as African. I'm a Black American. And you have people like Mark Lamont Hill chiming in on it. Mark Lamont Hill is chiming in on it. Somebody said Africa is a race. Well, yeah, racially African. Yeah, racially African. Yeah, historically, racially African. But ethnically foundational Black American. You see how that works? Yeah, a lot of people are acting dumb. Yeah, people, y'all, you can play dumb. If playing dumb makes you comfortable, well, by all means, be comfortable. Yeah, if you want to sit here and claim to be Cherokee and not get shit, because you ain't getting none from the Cherokees. If you feel good about that, knock yourself out. All right? Go in the Cherokee spaces. Okay, if you're Cherokee, because you got these Negroes here who like, damn that, man, I don't want to be no foundation black American. I is Cherokee. You gonna respect my Cherokee-ness. Okay, Cherokee Negro. Go knock yourself out. How come you're in our spaces? How come you're not in the Cherokee chat rooms? If you're Indian Red, ma'am, young lady, if you're Indian Red or whatever tribe you're claiming, why are you not you're in our spaces right now? You're not in the Cherokee spaces because you know you ain't getting nothing. They're going to block you. The minute they see you, you going to go in there, they're going to see them bundles and they're going to block you. They're not going to even let you in the room. Eh? If you're part of this Indian tribe, go be a part of the tribe. Why are you in our spaces then? Go get them benefits then. Why are the people claiming the Cherokees and all of that, why are y'all not going over there getting no Cherokee checks? Why are y'all all in our spaces all the time trying to convince us, come on, man, we is Cherokee now. We is Cherokee. I is a Choctaw. All right. I is Creek. All right, Creek. Why are you not in the Creek spaces? All right, the Creeks are different from today. They've been infiltrated. Now go holler at the people that had infiltrated the Creeks. Go get you something out them Creeks. And then let me know what you got. All right? Yeah, you're Cherokee but never grovel. Well, yeah. You're groveling to be recognized by them. They're not giving you the time of day. Yeah, if you listen, Negroes, if you are a Negro, or if you look like a Negro, but you're really a Cherokee, okay? Why are you arguing with us? Why do y'all come in our spaces arguing and whining to us? Go get your Cherokee check. Go rent you a horse. Go to Party City, get you some feathers. Go ride your horse to the Cherokee reservation and say, hey, how? I is Chief Running Hennessy. And I is a original member of this tribe, and I comes to see about that bread that is federally supposed to be allocated towards my coffers. Now, whose do I need to speak with about my Cherokee check? You're going to get escorted off the reservation. But hey, don't be mad at us. You and your rental horse, I respect you and your rental horse. If you want to rent a horse and ride to a reservation and claim to be Cherokee, knock yourself out with some Dane Calloway books in your lap. Listen here. Chief Dane Calloway said that I is a member of this tribe and I want to see about this check that is owed to me. Yes, I am Chief Running Hennessy, but if you're going to make out a check, make it out to Lavelle Jenkins. All right, that's Lavelle with an apostrophe because my mama wanted it to sound French. Jenkins. All right. Oh, yeah, knock yourself out. Yeah, don't come here telling us what we need to follow your goofy ass lead. All right? Y'all always stay in our mix telling us that we is the Indians here. We is Cherry. Okay, well, nigga, go get yours. Go get it. And stop trying to convince us. Go ahead and get yours. All right? I'm not here to play games with you. I'm a foundational Black American. That works for me because it's accurate. There's a consistency to it. All right? We've had a culture that has been consistent as foundational Black Americans, and we get to self-identify. We get to say what is culturally ours, without somebody giving us something, without somebody giving us a name. Yeah? See, we got to understand what the game is out here. Even terms like mulatto. Remember, and I talked about this the other day, the term mulatto initially it didn't mean black and white. Mulatto meant black and Native American. That's who they meant when they called somebody mulatto. When you look at paperwork, and it has people written down as mulatto, and there's a lot of that in my family from the 17 and early 1800s. I have free black people or free people in my family who, on the census records, were classified as mulatto. Understand, if a person at that time, 1700s, 1800s, is free, but they're labeled a mulatto, most likely that meant that they were black and Native American. Now, if they were on a plantation and they were labeled mulatto, most likely they were black and white. Why is that? Because on a plantation, the people who would have offspring or the people who would have interracial relationships, it wasn't black men. Black men were not having interracial relationships on the plantation. It was white men and black women. And the children, they're going to have the status of the woman. So if a child is born on a plantation and is mulatto, 9 times out of 10, that means the father's white. But the opposite is going to happen if we're talking about free people. If there's a free black person or a free person labeled as a mulatto, that meant that there were black people mixing freely with the Native Americans. A black person really wasn't getting down with a white person, even black women. Black women who were free weren't really trying to be concubines with the white supremacists like that back then. You lived in free black neighborhoods where you were very close-knit about how you got down. You dig? But going back into what I was saying about Cameron, you say, what's the difference between native and foundational? Well, a foundational black American is a person who descended from slaves, descended from freedmen, all right? So if you say a Native American, hell, that could be a red native or a $5 Indian native, so it's different, all right? So when we say a foundational black American, we're specifically talking about a black person who descended from freedmen. All right? Now, we got a lot of people in here. We got almost 6,000 people in here. Now, let me play this clip of Mark Lamont Hill talking about Cameron. He's addressing Cameron. Talking about identifying with being black American instead of African American. Now listen to Mark Lamont Hill's response, and this is very typical a lot of people who have Democratic leanings. But listen to this. Hold on one second. Let me play this.
But when it's other shit, it needs to be categorized. So I consider myself a black American. I don't consider myself an African American.
Right. Fair use, by the way. Fair use. Commentary, fair use.
And then shout out to all my niggas in Africa. Much love. But y'all don't consider us real Africans.
Right.
Now, normally I mind my own business on this kind of stuff, sort of. But I felt the need to respond directly to Cam because I think this issue is that important. So Cam, my brother, here is my response to you. First of all, as you know, and I said this to you publicly and privately, I appreciate you. I love you. I love the work you're doing. You're one of my favorite rappers. And now to watch you and Mace on that show doing the work you're doing is incredibly important, it's empowering, and it is uplifting. But with that platform, of course, comes a big responsibility because people look to you for insight. They look to you for advice. They shape their worldview based on what you say. So when you made that statement, it's going to have other people echoing it. And I want to make
he's echoing what's already out there in the streets right now.
Sure that we break down what's right about what you said and what's wrong about what you said. For me, saying you black is cool. I often say I'm black as opposed to African American because I don't want to exclude my brothers and sisters from the Caribbean, my brothers and sisters from the continent of Africa. In the United States, when you say you black, it encompasses all of that because the police don't care if you came in on a boat last year or 400 years.
Yeah, but the thing is, us identifying who we are is not going to be contingent upon how the police view us, because we view the police in the dominant society differently than a lot of immigrant groups. So that's the thing. We view them differently than other groups view them.
Years ago, when you don't get the job, or you don't get the house, or you don't get the credit, or you don't get whatever it is because of your race, people don't care whether you are African from the continent, whether you're African from the Caribbean, whether you're African from...
Okay, deprivation from the dominant society doesn't change our lineage though, okay? We still have a specific lineage as foundational Black Americans. So just because they deprive us of certain things, that doesn't change our lineage. Just because they deprive African tribes of certain things, they still acknowledge their lineage. So what? We still have a specific lineage.
From the United States. So for me, Black in that way is a good framework to include all of us. I'm with that part of it. But we can't let go of Africa, my brother. And I'll tell you why. First of all,
I got to hear this. We can't let go of Africa? Man, Africa let go of us. No. We got to get off this. No. We don't have to culturally claim Africa. Culturally, Africa let us go a long time ago. All right? We don't have to culturally claim Africa. I claim Africa as far as genetics. Yeah, my genetics go back there, but culturally, no, we're a different group. Hold on.
The idea that Africans don't fuck with us is, I think, not true. It's exaggerated and inflated. Africa is a continent, and every country is different. Every region is different. The idea of even calling Africa a single place is something that really Europeans did. It happens in a way that ignores the fact that there's different tribes and different cultures and different civilizations, sometimes that aren't even connected by a country. So it's complicated. So I would never...
It's complicated for them. We ain't over there. So we don't even have to concern ourselves with any of that. They don't concern themselves with us, what we got going on ethnically. So that has nothing to do with us. So we shouldn't even be in that mix like that.
Say all of Africa does this or all of Africa does that. But in general, what I would say is there's a long history of Africans on the continent connecting with Black folk here in the United States. When we were marching for civil rights, there were people in Accra, Ghana singing "We Shall Overcome."
Okay, okay, whatever. That doesn't change our ethnic group. All right, they were singing for us. Okay.
They were hearing our songs, they were hearing our music, they were hearing and witnessing our struggle. And as they fought for independence in countries like Ghana, they watched what we did and they felt a connection.
Right, because we were over there kicking off a lot of the independence movements over there. It was foundational Black Americans kicking it off. So yeah, they were watching us because we were helping them.
In Sierra Leone, they feel a connection. In Ivory Coast, they feel a connection. In Cote d'Ivoire, they feel a connection. In South Africa, they feel a connection.
Okay, we keep hearing about how they feel, but nothing tangible. Because we don't get anything tangible from nobody over there. All right? We don't get anything. See, they get stuff. They come here and get stuff. Like now, you got people immigrating over here and they're getting stuff from us that we fought for. They're getting tangibles. Notice they can never point to anything tangible we're getting. We're not getting anything. We just get the feeling. They feel for us. Oh, stop.
When we were marching to end apartheid and to get Nelson Mandela out of prison, they certainly banged with Black Americans who were...
Yeah, because we were the ones in the forefront of that. We were the ones in the forefront of getting rid of apartheid in South Africa. It was our celebrities and us on the grassroots fighting to get them the freedom to get apartheid off their backs.
We're struggling with and for them. Are there some folk who don't? Are there some who ain't even Black? Look at North Africa, a whole bunch of Arabs. Are there people who come here and think they better than the average nigga on the street? Absolutely. And some of them got to get a nigga wake-up call when the police stop them and don't care what country they came from, how non-African American they are. So we understand all of that. But at the end of the day, we are a united people. And the extent to which we are disconnected is the extent to which white supremacy has wedged us apart.
No. Okay. That's enough of that. Okay. Because here's the thing. We're not connected. That means white supremacy took us apart. let me say this, dude. These dudes over, man, when they come over here, they already have too many, but enough. They already have enough vitriol. We got some cool ones. The problem is you got a bunch of them who ain't cool. And at this point, we don't have time to pick and choose and all of this stuff to see who's cool or not. We're just acknowledging our unique ethnic difference. None of that, he said, changed the fact that we are a specific ethnic group. We're the only ones, the only group of people who are not supposed to acknowledge our unique ethnic group. No, us as foundational Black Americans, we are a unique ethnic group, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it is. And they look at themselves as different. Y'all can sit and say, y'all African, we disconnected. No. If we go to Africa, even if we move there, we as foundational Black Americans are treated like foreigners. That's the reality. We're treated like foreigners, which we are foreigners. Yeah? We're treated like foreigners. And a lot of these folks, unfortunately, there's a lot of vitriol towards us. They get over here talking about Akata, stay away from the Akata, and don't do this and don't do that with those people. We got to understand something. They come over here and try to ethnicity shame us, telling us we don't have a culture and y'all don't have this. And I've always said that's a projection. The problem was, family, we're up here talking about this kumbaya. Every Black person is a brother and all of that. And we've had, for the last decade, some of these tethers coming over, specifically doing things to not help us, but to undermine us. That's why we had to step back and say, wait a minute. The problem we're having is that you got a lot of people coming around who we're elevating, thinking that we have some kind of racial camaraderie, but these people have a low-key contempt for us because they don't share the same ethnicity. So, family, we started to see this heavily a decade ago. That's why we started asking questions. See, nobody wants to ask why we're delineating so heavily right now. There's a reason why we're delineating. And we started to see things during the early pre-Black Lives Matter movement. When we start seeing a lot of us get slaughtered wholesale by the Zimmermans and the other white supremacists and white supremacist adjacent people. When we start hitting the streets, we start going to these protests, these rallies, these turn-ups. A little over a decade ago, we started to see some real funny, off-code behavior by people, and we couldn't put our finger on it. When we had to hit the streets, and when I was traveling around the country, going to different rallies, protests, turn-ups, going to Ferguson, going to Baltimore, going to Atlanta, going to all of these things, we started to see funny-ass shit happening in these cities. When it was time to turn up against the anti-Black racists and everybody get on code and us helping folks in these communities, we start seeing these weirdos pop up out of nowhere. I remember in Ferguson during the Mike Brown situation, when we were out there in Ferguson putting money on the streets because there were riots, stores were shut down. So we were going out there with money saying, hey, brothers and sisters, if the store is shut down, we got money to bring in food, to bring in supplies, to bring in the basic necessities. We put money on the streets. we started to see these weird ass people pop up. Hey, don't be getting no money from him. He be practicing misogyny. And we was like, who is this person? We're up here trying to feed people in the middle of a crisis, and we got these weirdos talking that dumb shit. We got fools trying to argue with us, trying to help the community. And we're like, who are these people? We go to cities where there are protests and these weird Negroes out there twerking and up there talking about, yeah, we need to stop all of this black hatred. Also, we need to support immigrants. And we're looking around like, huh? Who is this? So we started to see this stuff happening, this weird stuff happening in all of these cities. And we're like, whose man is this? So I would go to these cities like, man, who's this dude, man, running around here with booty shorts twerking in front of the police, man? Who are these people, dude? And they're like, I don't know. I thought they came with you. No, they didn't come with me. So everybody started to kind of ask questions. And then some of the rioters, some of the black folks who are really rioters, they started getting killed. Our good brother Darren Seals, shout out to Darren Seals out there in St. Louis. The late Darren Seals. They murdered our brother, man. Real good, solid dude. But he was calling out a lot of these weird infiltrators that were coming in with the nonsense when we were trying to get justice, and we kept seeing these people pop up out here. And we started to see the commonalities with these people. We started to know and notice there was a pattern with them. Number one, the one pattern, nobody knew them. Number two, they would always seem to shift the energy. Number three, they would always have some kind of connection to Ebony magazine. That was another thing. They were all these people that were connected with Ebony, and they would write articles for Ebony. And when I say, okay, that's too random. These people are being sent from somewhere. That's really too random and too coincidental. They're being sent from somewhere. So we started to see the commonality, and another commonality, they were always on some weird sexual thing. They out there trying to hook up on with some studs, it was some moist dudes. It was always something weird sexual vibe going on with them. All right. And also nobody from the local area knew who they were. And I learned that from my brother Darren Seal, because these people would pop up in St. Louis and Ferguson like they running stuff. And my brother Darren would be like, hey, these people ain't from here. He said, hey, these are activists. Darren was like, no, I'm from here. We don't know these people. We don't know them. They're not from here. Darren's out there smacking these people up. They were calling them out. And shout out to my St. Louis and Ferguson people. They started saying, hey, these aren't our people. We don't know where they're from, guys. I don't know who they are. They keep talking about they're the leaders of this and the leaders of that. We don't know any of them. We don't know where they came from. They just kind of popped up, guys. So, hey, we don't know them. So then I'm like, okay, how come nobody know? The same thing in Baltimore. Nobody knew these people. And in black society, we're going to know somebody. Somebody's going to know somebody in our city. If you ask some questions, your mama, your grandma, your cousin, somebody's going to know these people. Nobody knew them. So then I'm like, okay, let me start investigating who these people are. Then we start looking in their backgrounds. We start seeing their names, and they had these weird names. We started to notice these were a lot of foreigners. We start looking at their social media. We would see these Jamaican flags, Haitian flags, Nigerian flags, Ghanaian flags. So, okay. So that's when we start putting two and two together. Like, these Negroes are foreigners. No wonder they're with that immigration thing so heavy. And they're actively trying to undermine us over here. They're arguing with us. We're trying to get justice. We're trying to feed people. And these Negroes are sitting here arguing with us? Who does that? So we started to see how these people work against us and how they were these same people who were the so-called leaders of Black Lives Matter and all of that. They would get in the media and start talking crazy. They would get in front of the camera and then the media would say, hey, these guys right here, these are the black leaders. And then they get in, they'll start writing articles. Yeah, black men are the white supremacists of black society. I'm like, what? What? Remember when they were doing that type of stuff? They would get in the media and start talking crazy. And then they get in the media and start talking about, well, there's some hot zaddies out here. We got some zaddy allies, and it got real bedwinchy. Everything was all about undermining us. And then we said, hey, we said enough is enough, man. We have to start calling these people out. And the commonality was these people were not from our lineage. So that's why we started to push back. We said, hey, none of these people are representatives of us. Y'all remember when the Root Essence had all of them zaddy loving stories because Ebony and the Root and all, they're flooded with immigrants. These are black publications who are flooded with immigrants. And then around the same time, we started to see all of these black gossip sites pop up, Gossip, Media Takeout, Shade Room, all of these people pop up showing the worst images of black people. And remember, this was around the same time we had Hidden Colors popping. And Hidden Colors was popping off. None of these publications would support it. In fact, a lot of these publications, World Star, they would be against Hidden Colors. They actually were against it. So anytime we saw the patterns here, anytime we try to do something that would uplift us, the same cast of characters would be out here trying to undermine us. You dig? And they were the ones, remember, the Root and Ebony and Essence, they were the ones calling it Hotep. These are Hoteps. We're trying to uplift people and they're running around calling us Hoteps for trying to uplift people. You dig? So we saw a pattern of them actively trying to undermine us, and it was a whole bunch of people. The commonality that we saw was that they were foreigners. That was the commonality. So then we all put our caps on like, hey, wait a minute. They are the problem. Because let me tell you something. Black society, the white supremacists are actually lightweight. We could handle them. Historically, family, the warrior class in black society, we could handle the white supremacists. We can handle them. The problem we've had was black collaborators who we think are with us, but they undermine us in order to get butter biscuits from the dominant society. That's been our problem. And us as foundational black Americans, we've always been the warrior class of black people globally. The black aboriginals who were here and the black aboriginals who were in Africa, or the black people who were in Africa. Remember, family, when they sold the black people in Africa to the Europeans, they were getting rid of the warrior class. They had to get the warrior class out of Africa. That's where part of our bloodline comes from. You see, black people in Africa could have gotten the white supremacists out of Africa if everybody was just on code. That was the problem. Everybody wasn't on code. the warrior class, who we come from, we were fighting them. But the coon class over there infiltrated us, captured some of us. And they needed chains and military apparatuses in order to contain us and get us out of there. And they left the collaborator class there. That's why it was easy for them to colonize the collaborator class. When the Europeans said, okay, we got them fighting niggas up out of here. Now, all of you weak collaborating Negroes, we're going to colonize your whole nation now. And we're a minority. That's why they were able to colonize them niggas over there. Let's keep it a buck tonight. That's why they were able to colonize them with less numbers. Because the warrior class was gone. So they went over there with Bibles and sticks and said, okay, you guys are about to speak French now. You're going to speak English now. You're going to speak Portuguese. They colonized them because the warriors were gone. Where am I lying? We were the warrior class. They sent the warrior class here in the Caribbean. That's why the Haitian Revolution popped off like it did. They sent those Angolan warriors to Haiti and the Caribbean. That's why they got their independence. Remember? You were sending the warriors to the Caribbean and some of the warriors here and mixed in with some of the warriors that were Aboriginal here. That's why they had the Maroon colonies set up over here where they would fight back and not be infiltrated. And even the black Aboriginal tribes over here, you had the Yamasee Wars. Those were some black Aboriginal people who were whooping ass. The white supremacists got some of the red native tribes to infiltrate the Yamasees. That's how a lot of the Yamasees got enslaved. It wasn't the white supremacists, it was the coon red natives that infiltrated them. Also, there was a treaty with some of those red natives to infiltrate some of the black Aboriginal tribes. If you saw some of the black Aboriginals, you turned them in. So people that we thought we had some kind of camaraderie with, these were the ones that were taking us down, our so-called allies who we thought were allies. We thought they were going to join us to fight the white supremacists. These Negroes were turning against us. The red tribes were turning against us. You dig? That was the problem. That's why the Great Dismal Swamp Maroons were so thorough, because they didn't allow infiltrators in. That's why they don't talk about it. They let over the riders, the warrior class. So they were very particular about who they let in those swamps. That's why there's only 2 places on the planet Earth that were never infiltrated by the white supremacists in the last 500 years. Only 2 places of black people. That's North Sentinel Island and the Great Dismal Swamp of North Carolina and Virginia. Those are the only 2 places that the white supremacists never infiltrated. Never infiltrated it. That's why they don't like talking about it. They really don't like to talk about that damn swamp openly. The brothers and sisters in the Great Dismal Swamp here in the United States never took an L. And that's never talked about. They study it privately. They set up Blackwater over there in the swamp so they can study that. So they can study. They send Navy SEALs to the swamp so they can study how to survive like the Foundation of Black American Maroons survived in there. They study our patterns now, our survival skills, but they don't talk about it openly. Yeah. Somebody said Ethiopia. Ethiopia, they got colonized economically and infiltrated economically, but the reason why, let's go to Ethiopia, why they didn't get taken over physically, that was because we stepped in. Remember? That was because foundational Black Americans were stepping in to help protect Ethiopia. It was the foundational Black American who went over there to teach them how to fly and do reconnaissance from the air. the foundational Black American brother who went over there. It was foundational Black Americans lining up to go over there to help Ethiopia. It was the black press who was stomping for Ethiopia, brother. So yeah, there's a reason why they didn't get hit up like other parts of Africa, because we were making sure they didn't get that treatment. We said, hey, we want to make sure that Ethiopia is protected. So our warrior spirit was on there. Our brother John Robinson went over there and helped create the first airline over there. We taught them how to fly planes. John Robinson out of Chicago, a foundational Black American, taught them how to fly planes over there. We were helping Ethiopia. You see? We were that warrior class. So that's why they always have to have, this ties back to the buffer groups infiltrating us. The white supremacists, we can get at their ass. We can stop them from doing what they do. They need these buffer classes. That's why them flooding the zone with all of these illegals and these migrants, that's why that's so important. They understand the importance of the damn buffer classes against us. We have to fight through these damn buffer classes so much, we'll be too tired but by the time we get to them. They understand how to use buffer classes, man. Man. Going to the pirates, many of the pirates were us. We were on them pirate ships because those pirate ships were slave ships. We talked about that before. Real heavy. Yeah? But yeah, don't let people sit here and talk about what we don't have. We don't have this history. We don't have this history. Don't let nobody run that game, because we have a deep-rooted history as an ethnic group. Our ethnic history is more rooted than anybody's in Africa, to be honest. Ethiopia, they kind of have a continuity to their culture, but so many other people, they've been remixed so much and run around and recolonized over there in Africa. They don't have the deep-rooted history that we have. Yeah, please stop letting folks sit up with this thing, we don't know who we are, and don't ever let nobody say that. Because, and I had a debate with a tether in Twitter Spaces the other day, talking about what we don't know our culture and all of that. No, you don't know your culture over there, because most of those nations over there are new, and they are nations that were recently colonized a few times over. So a lot of their ancient history has been erased. A lot of them they've been moved around and remixed all over the place. So they don't have that much of an ancient history. They don't have too much of a current history, family. A lot of them get mad when I talk about how a lot of them to this day don't even have birth certificates. A lot of them get upset when I say that. But I put up a clip on my social media of my Twitter of them admitting about them not having birth certificates. Let me show y'all this. This is from their own mouths, all right? This is what I've been telling y'all, and this is them admitting this in their own words about their lack of birth certificates and them not knowing when they were born, all right? This is them confirming everything I've been saying.
Happy birthday to all my refugees and immigrants. It's January 1st. You know, it's our special day. It's everyone's birthday. I just want to take this opportunity and wish you and your family, because I know your whole family has the same birthday, January 1st. Of course, Happy New Year's. It's a special day. Go get a cake for your whole family.
What if I told you today, January 1st, marks a day where a lot of immigrant parents actually have their birthday? You'd probably think I'm crazy, right? But it turns out this is actually true. Just wanted to say happy birthday to all the immigrant parents that were born on January 1st. If you know, you know. You're celebrating with you. But how did this come to be? You see, when immigrant parents decided to move to Western countries to give a better life for their future children, they were asked this one question by the government: what is your birthday? And the thing is, immigrant parents were born in a time where people never kept accurate track of these things because they weren't important to them. Now, obviously, January 1st, we will...
The time is now. They were born in a time. They don't know now. The time is now.
always celebrate their birthday, but we know it's obviously wrong. You know, it's not accurate at all. We'll be months off, days off, who knows? And the thing is, we will never know when their actual birthday is. The closest we'll know is either the year that they were born in or the season. You know, sometimes they'll say, oh, I was born in the summer or the winter. And then that's when they just end the conversation.
So I'm gonna explain this in the simplest way I can using like a fake name. So let's say mi tía Sarai was born December 1st in San Juan, Costa Rica, but she actually was born in a very rural part.
Okay, so they're doing a lot of explaining. So bottom line, hold on, let me see. What is this? Okay, it is doing a lot of explaining. All right, but bottom line, like I said, a lot of people over there just don't know their birthdays. So yeah, ain't nobody gonna tell me about my culture, and you don't even know not only your own birthday, the birthdays or the lineage of certain people in your family. So yeah, you can't tell us what we don't know. You can't tell us about our culture and what we don't know about our culture. I've been told y'all this. They don't know their birthday. That's why y'all see these dudes who come over here, they be in school, they be in the 5th grade, and they have a receding hairline and a goatee. Yeah? So yeah, don't let nobody tell you about what you don't know about your culture. We as foundational Black Americans, man, we are meticulous about keeping records. That's a part of our tradition because we were put in a position where we had to have freedom papers and documents. Us having the right documents meant our freedom or our enslavement. So if we were free or if we were owed something or we needed to have our documents on point. So that comes from our family, even to this day. Foundational Black American grandparents are some of the most meticulous record keepers you know. You go to grandma's house or great grandma's house, they gonna have your birth certificate and a Bible, your dental records. Our parents and grandparents keep everything. That's one thing our people do. Our families are gonna keep some records. You go to your mama house now, she's gonna have your 1st grade report card, your immunity shots from when you were 2, some ink prints of your feet, your footprint ink, your baby fingerprints. They're going to have all your stuff. Everything in Bibles, military records. We keep some damn documents. Yeah, so when they start talking about, making IDs for voting, that's going to hurt Black people. No, it ain't. No, that's not. We ain't got no problem with getting no ID. We'll show you some ID. Oh yeah, we got locks of braids, a tooth, your first tooth that you lost. Man, please, we got all that stuff. We keep some damn identification. Man, please. We gonna keep us some damn identification. We know who's who in the family. You got a toenail clipping, a rusty umbilical cord dropping. You got everything in a Bible, dude. Man, please. My mom got my bed, no cap. My mom got some of my bed sheets from when I was in the 1st grade at her house. I had some Roadrunner Coyote bed sheets, and my mom still has those. Yeah? My mom still has them. Man. But real talk though. We know our history, we know what's going on with us. But again, this ties back into them trying to erase and replace us, and that's a problem. That is a problem. How many folks we got in here? Well, we almost got 7,000 people in here. We are in here heavy. But, it's an election season right now. They're trying to flood the zone with people to come in and vote to undermine us. And now what you're seeing now, they, because it's election season, they want to do the gender divide. They're trying to do the whole black girl magic. But now it's kind of hard because you see the vitriol they have for us. And we saw with the color purple what was going on with that. they're still complaining about the low pay with the color purple. Oprah's like, I don't know why they keep trying to tie me into it, whoop-de-whoop. They're trying to hold their nose and say, okay, look, we want to pretend we care about black women, which we can't stand y'all either, but we still need to have a gender divide in order to get these votes. Our thing is, family, don't let these people promote any kind of gender divide. Bottom line, we're not going to let them use movies or any other thing to promote a gender divide with black men and black women. We are in this together. We're not going to let them sit here and act like they're going to give you special treatment and they're giving you the plantation treatment. All right, I want sisters to see what's going on with that whole color purple thing and how those sisters were treated on that set. For yeah, that movie flopped. And now Taraji and them people, they've been running around in the media crying for the last month about how bad they were treated. That's horrible, and that shows the disrespect that they have for black women too. You dig? They have the same level of disrespect. So let's not go for the okie doke. We're in here in this thing together. And when they come around with some kind of gender divide, understand that that is to undermine us as a group. So we got to stay on code. All right? Anyway, let me get up out of here, guys. We had a good conversation today. Shout out to everybody for tuning in. Family, go to rootworkstyle.com to get the Rootwork deodorant. rootworkstyle.com. All right. Also, go to hiddenhistorymuseum.com to get this phenomenal book, Hidden Heroes from A to Z. Phenomenal children's book. Get that at hiddenhistorymuseum.com, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, y'all, it's been real. Y'all have a great night. Papi Akute and Lullaby.